Guys, this is Working Swinger and welcome back once again to another video on my YouTube channel. As always, if you are new here and are looking to improve and learn more about forex trading, I recommend you subscribe to the channel, you turn on the bell notification so whenever I post educative content like this, you will be notified as fast as possible. And in this video, I want us to break down VIX 75, VIX 100 and step index. Okay, I'm gradually beginning to like trading volatility index because from my experience I've had with on the FX market and now trading volatility index, I feel more accurate whenever I'm trading this volatility index, and the price action is really straightforward, okay, as compared to the FX market. That is a lot of factors coming into play. There's the news, there's a lot of things coming into place to create volatility in the market as compared to the volatility index. It's the price action is really straightforward. Okay, you don't have news or anything affecting it. Okay, you just move by supply and demand, and you just have to be strong with your technical analysis, and trust me, you're good to go trading volatility index 75, volatility index 100, volatility index 25. Step index, all those type of pairs, you are good to go. Just have to have a strong technical analysis, and trust me, you'll be okay. So let's just first start breaking down VIX 75. Let's move to our daily time frame and see what we have on our daily time frame. Let's see what we have on our daily time frame. So clearly, with the analysis you can see on my screen, daily time frame, you can clearly see something like an impulse correction. Sorry, let me just draw it well. Impulse correction, impulse type of structure on the daily time frame. Okay, that's what you are seeing. You can see after this strong push to the upside, price started doing what? Correcting. Price started correcting in this channel form until it came all the way down to this low right here, this previous support. Support here, and price did what? Price exploded all the way to the upside. Okay, so you can clearly see how straightforward this price action is on the daily time frame on the VIX 75. You can see this nice impulse correction impulse. Okay, and those who are good with structures, those who are good with patterns, we know that whenever we see this kind of falling channels like this, we're expecting the next impulse to break out all the way. Let me just use my arrow to break out all the way to the upside. Okay, basically that is how this kind of pattern normally plays out. Okay, if you're good pattern, I'm sure you already know this. That is how this kind of patterns plays out. When you see a strong push and a corrective phase or a corrective channel like this coming all the way down to the previous low, then most of the times you can see price impulsing all the way to the upside. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we're expecting a strong bullish move to at least this our previous high, okay, to complete the pattern that we have on our daily time frame. So we have a bullish bias on our daily time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour and see what the 4-hour is trying to say, and that is where things get interesting. When you drop on the 4-hour, that is where things get very, very interesting. So clearly you can see, like I was saying earlier on, after price did what? After price came all the way down to this low, this previous support right here, price started correcting for some time, and price exploded all the way to the upside. Okay, you can see this huge move all the way to the upside. So now you can see that the trend has clearly established itself. You can see a clear bullish impulse all the way to the upside, and you can see immediately price tested our upper trend line. Okay, our upper part of the channel. You can see that price started doing what? Price started correcting. Price started forming something like a retracement, and we all know that whenever we see something like an impulse correction, we are expecting another impulse, and that is, in this case, that's how normally in a clear uptrending market, forming higher highs and a series of higher highs and higher lows. Whenever we see a higher high and we see another higher low forming, from there we are anticipating that there should be another higher high breaking above the previous high. Okay, this previous high right here. I hope I'm not confusing you with all these terminologies that I'm saying. So from here you can see this strong push and a corrective phase. You can see how corrective price has been moving. Okay, let me just take my my brush tools off so you see what I'm currently saying on the 4-hour. You can see immediately after the strong push all the way to the upside, you can see how correctively price has been doing what? Price has been moving all the way to the downside. And this is a very good example of a very good retracement. Okay, this is the kind of a retracement that I normally look out for when there's a clear push to any direction, to the downside, to the upside. After there's been a clear push like this, and I see a retracement in this kind of form, I get strong confidence that there can be a strong push to continue the previous move of where it came from. And one thing that we can also use to determine when the retracement is going to end is using our Fibonacci. Okay, so you can see clearly that when you use our Fibonacci to measure the impulse all the way from the low to the high, you can see that it will give us zones. And if you don't know about the Fibonacci retracement is used to determine when the retracement is going to end. If after there has been a clear impulse move to any direction and the market is currently retracing, for us to know where the retracement is going to end, we use our Fibonacci retracement tool. It's going to give us zones zones in which the market can do what? The market can reverse and continue with another impulse, or let's say a higher high or a lower low. Okay. So if you use your Fibonacci to measure from the low to the high, you can see right here that the market has currently retraced to our 0.5 Fibonacci zone. Why did the market retrace to our 0.5 Fibonacci zone? You can see that we already had our 0.382 Fibonacci level here. The market came, rejected, and broke below down to our 0.5 Fibonacci zone. The market broke below the 0.382 Fibonacci level to test our 0.5 Fibonacci level, because that is a level that is perfectly aligning with structure. You can see with our first Fibonacci level, that is 0.382, there's no structure here. The structure here doesn't really make sense. But when you look at the 0.5 Fibonacci level, you can see there's a strong structure right here. You can see that is why price came all the way down to test this zone. And that is one tip that you can take away. You can take away with Fibonacci. Okay, the Fibonacci, for in order for us to know the exact level that the retracement is going to end, you have to look at the Fibonacci level that is perfectly aligning with structure. Okay, let me repeat this again. In order for us to know where a retracement is going to end after we use our Fibonacci tool to measure the impulse, we have to look out for the Fibonacci level that is perfectly aligning with structure. Okay, you have to look at the Fibonacci level that is perfectly aligning with structure. So in this case, you can see the 0.5 Fibonacci level was a level that was perfectly aligning with structure. That was why price came all the way down to retest that zone. You can see immediately price retested that zone. You can see a strong push all the way to the upside, and you can see immediately price also tested the 0.5 Fibonacci level. Price from something like a W formation, an inverse W formation. You can see something like this right here. Okay, let me just change the color of my brush tool so you see this much clearly. So you can see this nice W formation right here, and you can see a retest to the neckline. Okay, and I've been talking about this M and W formation almost every time. And whenever we see a W formation, we're expecting price to move all the way down. We test our neckline from here, expecting price to explode all the way to the upside. And the same thing also applies to the M formation. Whenever we see an M formation, we're expecting price to make a move all the way to the upside. We test our neckline from here, expecting price to make a strong push all the way to the downside. Okay, and these patterns really work effectively. Okay, if not for the matter of time, I could have taken you through so many examples where this M and W formation has been working very nicely, and that is a pattern I've been trading with for a very long time now, and it's because it has been working. If it doesn't be working, I would have found something else that works. And you can see a very nice example here: price forming a nice W formation and price retesting to the neckline. Okay, and this is also a impulse correction. So from here you can expect that price will impulse all the way to the upside, breaking above this high right here to form a higher high, and also to complete the pattern that we saw on our daily time frame, which was the impulse correction impulse. Okay, I believe you guys remember that. So the price action that we are currently seeing on our daily time frame and on our 4-hour time frame looks quite bullish. It's just a matter of time till we get a very good entry in this setup. So How are we going to enter? I'm sure that's the question that you're asking. What is going to be your entry? I'm not going to make my entry on the 4 hour. I'm making my entry on the 30 minute and the 15 minute, maybe, or maybe on the 1 hour. It depends on how price is going to react. It depends on how price is going to react. Okay, you can see a very beautiful, uh, a very beautiful W formation on the 4 hour time frame. But when you come on the 1 hour, you can see a nice impulse correction. Okay, and we know in a clear uptrend market, when you see an impulse correction from here, expecting price to do what? To push all the way to the upside. We can say impulse retracement impulse. Okay, impulse retracement impulse. So you can see impulse retracement impulse. So from here, you can expect more continuation to the upside. And this setup is looking really, really nice. I'm going to share the results of this setup to you guys. I mean, if you're interested in seeing the results, how this setup played out, just let me know in the comment section, and I'll update you guys. Probably today is Wednesday, so I'm sure by Thursday I will give you guys updates. Was I able to get a very good entry in this setup, and what was my entry criteria? What did I see before making an entry in this setup? What was my entry? If you want me to share that, just let me know in the comment section below, and I will update you guys with another video on how this trade played out. Okay, so you can see how beautifully this setup on VIX 75 is looking from our daily time frame to our 1 hour time frame. You can see everything's in a clear alignment for us to get a very good buy setup all the way to the upside. So what I'm doing here is I'm monitoring price on the 1 hour to the 15 minutes at this zone to get a very good entry from here all the way to the upside, at least to this key level. Okay, I might take my first take profit just about this zone, even though I'm expecting price to do what? To make a strong push to the upside. Okay, but I have to be realistic with my take profit. So if price is to I'm to get an entry from here and price is to impulse all the way to the upside, I'll be taking my first special profit just about this zone right there, this high right here, because anything can happen. Okay, you don't have to be predictive. You have to be reactive. You have to react to what the market is doing. So if I get an entry from here to this zone, I'm taking my partial profit because price can immediately reverse from here and come out with your downside. And if you know volatility index 75, and I mean all the volatility index space is very, very volatile. So it can move like almost 600 pips within a few minutes and reverse with a reverse back to that same 600 pip level within a few seconds. Okay, so it's really, really volatile. It moves really fast. So if price is to get to this level, I'll take my take profit. And if price is to impulse all the way to the upside, break through its highs, then I'm looking to be adding more positions as price continue to trend to the upside. Okay, so this is the analysis that I'm having on the 75. It's looking very, very, very nice. I mean, you can see the analysis that we did. If you have any question about the setup that I did, don't forget to leave a comment below, and I'm going to reply as fast as possible. So let's continue with VIX 100. Okay, let's continue with VIX 100. Let's continue with VIX 100. So VIX 100, you can see on the forward time. Let's just start on the daily time frame. Let's see what is really going on VIX 100. I mean, this volatility index space is really, really volatile. Okay, you can see there's a whole lot of gaps going on because of how volatile this market is. So you can see on daily time frame, we can clearly see a strong impulse correction. Okay, you can see something like a strong impulse and correction. Okay, or let's say a retracement. The market made a strong push, forming something like a W formation, made a strong push to the upside, and price currently retracing down before you can see another move all the way to the upside. And because of how volatile the VIX 100 is, I mean, as compared to all the volatility index pairs, about VIX 75, VIX 20, VIX 25, VIX 50, all of them, I mean, it's volatility index 100. That is really, really volatile of all of them. It moves really fast than all the volatility index pairs. Okay, that's why you can see a lot of gaps. But among all the VIX pairs, it's volatility index 100 that is really, really, really volatile. Okay, it's really, really volatile. So let's just continue our analysis. So that is why we are seeing all these kind of gaps. So on the daily time frame, you can see this nice W formation and impulse correction. Okay, and for us to even see it clearly, you can switch to our line charts. You can see this clearly. Okay, you can see this nice W formation and a strong push and a retracement. Okay, so from here you can expect price to do what? To push all the way to the upside. Okay, so I mean it's really straightforward with the line chart. Okay, and also we can also use our trend line. We can use our trend line to measure the impulse all the way to the upside. Sorry guys, let me just correct this. You can use our Fibonacci to measure our impulse. Okay, because like I said earlier on, for we use a Fibonacci to know when when the retracement is going to end. So since we have seen a clear impulse and a retracement, in order for us to know when the retracement is going to end, we have to use our Fibonacci to measure from the high to the low, and we're going to get a possible zones in which price is going to do what? Price is going to reverse. So let's just go to our 4-hour time frame and see how price is doing what? Price is reacting. Things get much clearer on the 4-hour time frame. Things get much clearer on the 4-hour time frame. So clearly you can see something going on. Okay, you can see something going on you can see something going on VIX 100 on the 4-hour time frame. You can see the strong push that I told you to the upside, and you can see how correctively most of the times retracements look very correctively. Okay, most of the times retracement they look very correctively. So you can see after the strong push to the upside, you can see how price is doing what? Price is retracing very correctively, and that is the kind of retracement that we look out for us to get the full confirmation that this thing is really retracing. Sorry guys, let me just take in a few words, a few water. So you can see that after we use our Fibonacci to measure the impulse, you can see price is currently retesting to 0. Let me just use the Fibonacci on the 4-hour time frame, okay, because it can also be applied on the 4-hour time frame. It looks kind of confusing on the daily time frame because of the gaps and all that. You can't clearly see the impulse. So let's just use it on the 4-hour time frame. So we can see from a high to a low. When you use our Fibonacci to measure from a high to a low, you can see that price met our first Fibonacci level, that is 0.382, broke below it, met our second Fibonacci level, that is 0.5, broke it, met our golden Fibonacci level and broke below, we tested, it's now coming back again, and price came all the way to test our 0.786 Fibonacci level. And why did price retest to that level? I've already said it earlier when I was analyzing, or when I was breaking down the 75. If you remember what I said, just leave it in the comment section. What did I say about the Fibonacci levels? Okay, I said that the market like, or the price like retesting to Fibonacci level, that is aligning perfectly with structure. And in this case, you can see how price did what? Price came all the way to test a rare Fibonacci level. Price doesn't normally test the 0.786 Fibonacci level. It's a rare Fibonacci level that the market test. But in this case, you can see the market came all the way back to test that level because that was a level that was perfectly aligning with structure. You can see previous resistance zone here. That price got broken to the upside, now turning support just about this zone. Okay, so you can see how strong these Fibonacci levels are. You can see how price was coming back all the way to test our Fibonacci level because that is a level that is perfectly aligning with structure. Okay, and you can see how correctively the market is also retracing. So in this case, how are we going to make an entry in this kind of market? Okay, how are we going to make an entry in this kind of market? Let's just drop to the 1-hour time frame and let's see what is currently happening in the 1-hour time frame. Let's just drop to the 1-hour time frame and see what is currently happening on the 1-hour time frame. You can see that the market is currently dropping because there's a strong level of support zone right here. Okay, on the 0 point, the market created a strong level of support zone on the 0.618. Okay, that's our golden Fibonacci level. That is why price has rejected this zone again. Okay, because when you go on the 4-hour, let's just go back to 4-hour. Let's just go back to our 4-hour and you see the structure very well. You can see there's a strong support zone that the market will broke it and the market is now retesting. You can see this zone right here. You can see, let me take my brush to, let me bring it down right here. You can see this zone right here. The market broke below, markets were tested, and now the market is pushing all the way to the downside. Okay, so I understand the market. I understand why the market is dropping. So what I'll be doing here is, if I have saw this move earlier on, I would have scalped this short-term sell to this previous low right here, this support zone right here. Let me just go on the 4-hour, sorry, on the 1-hour time frame, because you can see immediately price that what price tested. You can see immediately price tested the support level again. Support level now turning resistance level again. Price formed what M formation. You can see a very nice M formation right here, and price is now pushing all the way to the downside. So if you have seen this move earlier, I would have taken my entry right on the other leg of the double top, and enjoy this short-term sell all the way to the downside. Okay, but since I've missed it, well, how I'll be anticipating on making an entry in this market is I'll wait and see how price will react if price gets to this point. Okay, price might do what? Price might form a double bottom from here and explode all the way to the upside. Okay, so from here, what I'll be from here is I'll be monitoring price after price has retested, because we can see right now price has pushing all the way to the downside. So you can be looking for buys, because from a daily time frame to a 4-hour time frame, you're having a strong buy bias. So we can't actually look for entry in this kind of selling environment in the lower time frame. So I'll wait for price to get to this point, to this low right here, and if price to get to this low right here, I'll see how price is going to behave. I'm looking to get in a very good entry on the lower time frames all the way to the upside. Okay, at least to this highs. Okay, to this any of these highs. That is what I'm expecting from here to here. That's what I'm expecting, because like I said, on the daily time frame, we are seeing a nice ICI, that is impulse correction, okay, a nice impulse and a retracement to the downside. And then whenever we see this kind of patterns or market structures in a clear uptrending market, because you can clearly see that VIX 100 has been in an uptrend for a very long time. So since you have seen this nice impulse correction on the daily time frame, or let's say impulse retracement, you're expecting the next impulse to form what? A higher high, because this was a higher high, a higher low. So you're expecting price to do what? To form another higher high. So there can be a possibility that price will do what? Price will even break above this level and continue going all the way to this point. But like I said earlier on, when I was breaking down VIX 75, I like giving realistic take profit. Okay, I like giving realistic take profit. So I'm taking my partial profit just along the way, and if price is to present multiple entries, I'll be just keeping on adding multiple entries and also taking multiple profit. Okay, so that is how that's the third process that I'm having currently on VIX 100. Okay, since price is dropping, I'll just be patient and see how price is going to react just about this zone, and if price presents a very nice entry, buy entry, obviously, then I will get in a trade from here all the way to the upside. I hope you guys are enjoying this analysis and learning something from this analysis I'm making on this pairs right here. Okay, so VIX 100 is also looking very, very good, even though the price action here it's looking very, very ugly. It's not that nice of a price action, but as a trader, you don't have to predict it. Okay, you don't have to thinking of getting always getting a very good price action on pairs. Sometimes you are going to get an ugly price action, but you just have to make sure that you see what the market is trying to communicate, so that you trade alongside with it. Like I always say, be hot, be reactive, and not predictive. If you try to predictive, you're always going to find yourself at the wrong side of the market, because you don't have enough money. You're just a retail trader. You can't control the market. Okay, so always be reactive. Don't be predictive. Just react to what the market is doing. So since this sell move has already been taken off, then I'll be patient and see how price is going to react at this key zone. Then from here, I'll be making a nice entry. That is if price is to present itself like I'm anticipating all the way to this highs right here. Like I said earlier on, to form a higher high on our daily time frame. So I hope you guys are really enjoying the analysis. Like I said earlier on, if you want to see how I got an entry or how it's played out, how this pair played out, just give a comment below let me know how you guys think about this analysis, and if you guys want to know the updates, I'll just update you guys Thursday or Friday. I'll drop another video on my YouTube channel updating you guys on how this pair really played out, or this setup really played out. So the last pair I would like us to go through is step index. Okay, step index is also one of my favorite pairs. I've been with for a very for some time now. Okay, I won't say for a very long time. Okay, for some time now, I'm monitoring this pair, and this pair seems to present a lot of opportunities. Okay, and I don't know if you are part of my Telegram group, that is the Lifetime Assets Trade channel, where I drop my it's a very educative channel where I drop my ideas that I see, or the setup that I see on the volatility index, especially VIX 75, VIX 100 step index. I drop everything. I drop every setup that I see on there. Just give a few notes of how I see it and how price behaving. So if you also there, you can also get to learn something from how I also analyze the market. So in the daily time frame, we can clearly see a nice impulse correction impulse playing out right here. You can see a nice impulse correction impulse. Okay, like I said in the other pairs, like they see that's the same setups, but this one has already playing out. And I shared this setup in the group earlier on when price retraced all the way back to this zone. Okay, when price retraced all the way back to this zone, which was also aligning perfectly with our Fibonacci level. Okay, like I said, Fibonacci like retesting to the level that is perfectly aligning with structure. Okay, so price retested to this level, and from here, this was our daily IC. I sent the notification that there's going to be. Let me just show you guys. Let me show you guys the. I will show you guys the. Let me just show you guys. Okay, so this is the group. Okay, this is a group. This is a setup. Okay, so after price came all the way to test our daily ICR. That's why I wrote our daily ICR right here. After price came all the way back to test this zone right here. That's why I gave notification that I was anticipating price to do what? Price to drop. Okay, but because there was a structure right here, I was, like I said, I like giving realistic take profit. I was anticipating take my first take profit just about this zone. Okay, I was anticipating take my first take profit just about this zone. Okay, and let's see how price played out. I give the updates. Okay, so this was the updates of how price played out. You can see how price dropped all the way to this previous low right here. I got an entry just about where my yellow tick was. Okay, I know, and price melted all the way to the downside. I got another entry after price broke below this zone right here. I got another entry and another price all the way to the downside. Okay, so just by understanding price action, you can see how I was able to capitalize huge on this move. And I know I notified this group, I notified this channel all the setup that I had on step index. Okay, I notified this channel, and if you are interested in joining, I'll just leave the link below so you guys can join and see my daily analysis on these pairs. Okay, like I said, I told some other guys I'm expecting price to do what? I'm expecting price to form a lower low. Okay, because this was a lower low, and price retraced to form a lower high. So from here, expecting price to form a lower low, you can see how price has impulsed all the way to the downside to form a lower low. Okay, so you can see clearly now price is still very, very bearish. That I'll just be patient and see how price is going to play out at the long run on step index. Okay, the move that I currently missed out on step index was this move right here. Let me show you. The move that I missed out on step index because I wasn't on my screen was this move right here. When price got to this peak level, price was stuck. Price was stuck at this zone. Price was stuck at this zone right here. Price was stuck at this zone right here. So I was waiting for a breakout. Okay, so when price broke out from this zone and retested, when you go to a 1 hour time frame, you can see price was moving very, very correctly. Okay, because of the knowledge I have with patterns, I was very hesitant in finding an entry on this kind of setup. Okay, it was after price played out. I was like, damn, you can see how price was moving very very correctively. Okay, I was putting a huge break and a retest. And you can see how price was moving very very correctly when price broke. So I was very confused if price was just you know uh, price was just making something like a fake breakout and just impulse all the way to the upside, because this kind of patterns, it's a reversal pattern. Whenever you see this kind of pattern, to me it's going to be a reversal of trend. So when I saw this, I was like, then price can just break out up to this previous zone right here. So I was very hesitant when I saw a clear break of structure, and you can see how price was tested back to the zone and price dropped all the way to the downside. Let me just measure the amount of FIP I could have gained from this trade, even though I'm not feeling any pain that I've missed this huge move, because I was able to start milking price from here, from this zone here, took another entry from here all the way to the downside. I took my take profit. So I was waiting for how price was going to react just about this zone, and I saw price stuck in this region and price broke through. And because of how the pattern price presented itself, I was very confusing what price was actually trying to do. Even though I saw a clear break of structure to the downside, because of the pattern that I was seeing on the 1 hour time frame, I was very confused. So I just allowed price to see how price is going to play out and see how price exploded all the way to the downside. Okay, you can see how price exploded all the way to the downside. So you can see something like a 766 pip trade. Okay, this is mad. This is really really mad. Okay, it's a very serious, you know, uh, move to the downside. Okay, so you can see now what the current move or the next move I'm anticipating on step index, because you can see the step index has broke below all time low. This was our all-time low. Let me show you our all-time low. This was our all-time low right here. Oops, where's price? This is our all-time low. This was our all-time low. This was our all-time low. The price has just broken impossibly all the way to the downside. Okay, so now you know clearly that the market is in a clear downtrend. Okay, and one thing or one theory that I've been trading with for a couple of times is you don't have to trade against the trend. The trend is always your friend. Okay, so until you see a clear change of trend, always try to think in terms of where the actual trend is actually going. Okay, so you can see now our daily ICI, our first daily ICI from here has been clearly been established. You can see a clear break forming a lower low like we anticipated. Okay, breaking this all-time low that we had right here. So from here we're expecting some kind of what, a retracement. Okay, impulse retracement, impulse retracement impulse, or impulse correction impulse, any that you feel good saying. Okay, so we expect some kind of retracement, then a continuation to the downside, or price will just come here to form a double bottom and explode back to change the trend. So price will finally form something like a new uptrend, going all the way to the upside. Okay, you can see, because on a daily time frame you can see price has been moving or trending to the downside for a very long time. Okay, price has just been trending to the downside for a very long time. So I won't be shocked if I see change of trend in step index. Okay, price will just impulse from here to the upside, come all the way down again to form like a double bottom to get a strong liquidity from here and make a strong push all the way to the upside. Okay, so you can see clearly on step index that price action is everything whenever you're trading this kind of volatility index. Okay, you need to have a strong price action, and I think from there you're good to go. And like I said earlier on, if you're interested for me to know, if you're interested in knowing the entries that I made on how I made an entry on VIX, VIX 100 and VIX 75, just let me know in the comment section. Okay, and I'll make another video showing you, I'll give you an update on this pair, on how I made an entry on VIX 75 and VIX 100. That is if the opportunity presented itself. Okay, if the opportunity presented itself. So if you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to comment below if you enjoyed it. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification, so whenever I post educative content like this, you will be notified as fast as possible. See you in the next one.